your honorable sensei, and across from me,
the vicious scumbag.
And together we are
Longturnlarry Podcast.
And today we got 10 obscure cards for 4 commanders I didn't want to build. So the first one that I have here is Hope Estheim. This commander wants us to gain a whole bunch of life on our turn, and then we get to mill our opponents that many cards. The first card I have here is Elvra, Halcyon's Witness. It allows us to pay 4 mana to switch our life total with its power, and it's got lifelink. So that's a lot of cards.
And the exchange of life does count as you gaining it. So when you switch back, you gain that much life.
The next 2 are Wombo Combo. We have Famished Paladin and Resplendent Mentor. Famished Paladin doesn't untap during your untap step, but whenever you gain life, you untap it. Replenished Mentor gives all white creatures the ability to tap, gain 1 life. So we get to go infinite with 2 really, really bad cards. You know what's better than lifelink? Not lifelink.
You need to leave.
We have Paladin of Prov and Spirit Link. Secondly, you want to extort all your enemies, so we have Syndicate of Tithe, so we can do it at a cheap rate. Wall of Reference gives us a payoff for our very, very big creatures. And Riot Control and War Report allow us to gain a ton of life and then commit war crimes. Finally, you do have to upgrade your land base. So we have Blighted Step that we can tap 3 mana and a white to sacrifice, and we gain 2 life each creature we control.
Our next obscure commander is Exdeath, Void Warlock.
My power is unmatched.
Punish your friends for not running enough graveyard hate with this Golgari powerhouse. Our goal is to get as many permanents into our graveyard as quickly as possible so that we can one-shot our opponents. Matsalanti the Great Door is a looter that we can transform later into a land that will give us X mana for cards in our graveyard. Milliken is allowing us to tap, mill a card, and get a colorless mana. Aftermath Analyst is going to come in and mill us for 3, and then later it's going to return all the land cards that we've milled away. While Conduit of Worlds is just going to allow us to play lands from the graveyard and possibly be a single recursion piece.
Not bad.
Overlord of the Baelmerk and Ripples of Undeath are here to mill us and also return cards that we need back. Crawling Infestation is going to mill us 2 cards at our upkeep, and every time we get rid of a creature, we get a bug in response. While Splinterfright is giving us the same amount of mill, but we're going to be gaining a powerhouse to go alongside Exdeath.
Cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
Stinkweed Imp is also a flyer with Dredge 5, allowing us to mill 5 cards instead of drawing, with our final card being Mesmeric Orb, which is going to make everyone mill equal to what they untap, rewarding them for having so many things to untap.
Up next is Kilo, a Punji Mine. He's not obscure, I just don't like this card. Whenever he becomes tapped, proliferate. The first card I have here is Sprite Dragon. He is a hasty, efficient beater that can get out of control as the game progresses. Othari's Sun Glory is another hasty beater, but brings with it a big board, and it's hard to deal with unless you exile. Joyra, Ageless Innovator, and Malcolm, Alluring Scandal will eventually get you to the point to where you can start casting spells for free.
Nice.
Arcade Ganon and Archmage Reclaimer are really good ways to get things from your graveyard and be able to cast them again and again and again. California pools and gemstone mines are just really efficient lands that have no downside as long as you can keep proliferating. Archmage Ascension is really easy to start up once you draw 2 cards. And once it hits 6 quest counters, all your draws turn into tutors. And finally, we have Azor's Electors. Of course, the people in government would screw over your opponents. Once you have 5 filibuster counters, you win the game.
Is you ain't my constituency.
And our final obscure commander, we have Ragost, Deft Gastronaut, aka Chef Zoidberg. Our goal is to make as many artifacts as we can so that we may eat them and hurt our friends. We're going to be using cards like Bone Horde Dracosaur. This says at the beginning of our upkeep, if we exile the top 2 cards of our library, our main goal is to hopefully hit a non-land to get a treasure token. If not, we'll take a dinosaur for a board. Cavern Horde Dragon may only cost red for a flying trample haste 6/6 that when it deals combat damage to a player, we create treasure tokens equal to the amount of artifacts they control. So beat up your artifact friend.
I will not part with a single coin, not one piece of it.
Rose Room Treasurer cares about creatures entering, and we get treasure tokens every time this happens, and then we get a payoff to hurt if we have a big enough board. Goblin Kaboomist is going to make it at the beginning of our upkeep, we get landmines. The landmines can do some things, but we're really here to just let Zoidberg eat. Now that we have all these artifacts, cards like Jorkadeen and Koldofa are going to become incredibly useful. Jorkadeen giving us +3/+0 to all of our creatures if we control 3 or more artifacts, and Koldofa Forge Master allowing us to eat 3 artifacts that go search for a key piece that we're after. Felidon of the Third Path and the Jolly Balloon Man both serve a similar role. We're going to make a token copy of an artifact creature, that way Zoidberg can eat it before it gets away. All these things dying with Tarian Soul Cleaver will make one of our creatures, if not Zoidberg, massive. And of course, listen to this shram, bitch. It's going to give us 3 artifact creatures for Zoidberg to eat and allow us to play a card with mana value 3 or less.
If you want one of these commanders to be made into a full deck tech, comment the commander you want down in the comment section. After 2 weeks, we will tally up the numbers and we will get started on that deck tech.
Make sure to like and subscribe so that you can get more Magic the Gathering content with your 2 favorite Commander Senseis.
And check out our Patreon for more exclusive content. I am your honorable sensei, and across from me,
the vicious scumbag.
And together we are Longturnlarry
Podcast.
Bitches.